Anthony Davis will never be the #1 option while he is playing with LeBron James. What's good, everybody? I'm back here with another video. And listen, I've been putting off this video for so long because I would say I'm a huge Anthony Davis fan. So I probably realized what I was about to talk about, what I'm about to talk about now. I probably realized it a long time ago. I just didn't want to admit it because he's my guy. But like, just gathering all the information and then watching the first few games, like I'm realizing like some stuff about AD that I just have to admit. But before we get into this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. Having a little down period during the last couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get that up. But I'm still up, man. I'm still putting out these videos. But let's get straight into this video. This all started in 19 when the Los Angeles Lakers traded for Anthony Davis. And during that period, when that happened, that solidified them two as the best duo in the league. At that point, they were probably two top 7 players in the world, with LeBron being the best player in the world, arguably at that time. And in that season, it showed, bro, they were dominant together. I felt like around that time, they were both top 5 in the MVP race. If the league didn't end, if the world didn't end at that time, I felt like LeBron would have kind of chased Giannis and took that MVP from Giannis. And we would have went into the playoffs with LeBron being the MVP and Anthony Davis being top 5 in MVP. But that didn't happen. The whole pandemic thing happened. So we went to the bubble. And they had a dominant, dominant, one of the best runs from a duo in a long time in that playoff run. They were super dominant, especially in the finals. Both of them were super dominant. It was even to a point where Anthony Davis at that time was outplaying LeBron, and that was still kind of peak LeBron. And Anthony Davis was probably reaching his peak, reaching his prime. He was outplaying LeBron at some point in that finals. So some people should have won it. I was one of those people that say Anthony Davis should have won it, but watching LeBron in that finals, he was just unstoppable. But it was either or, pick who you want. But LeBron ended up winning that MVP award. But after that championship, that's kind of where everything started to go down. Around that time, we didn't give up. I don't know if we gave up or if they just went in free agency. I believe they went in free agency. I believe JaVale went to the Suns. Then I believe Dwight Howard went to the 76ers, and those were our big guys. That solidified us as having the best big man rotation. Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, and Dwight Howard was the best big man rotation in the league by far. And we lost those two guys. So while losing those two guys, we had to put AD at the 5. Why did we have to do that? Andre Drummond, just him and AD would never fit. Marc Gasol was kind of reaching his peak, and Montrezl Harrell at that time was a solidified guy coming off the bench. He was a 6th Man of the Year winner. I believe that year he won the 6th Man of the Year. So AD had to move to the 5. And at that time, I want to be honest, to me, that sounded like a good idea, because I felt like him moving to the 5 and just having spacers and shooters around him, that would feel good. That's not true. With losing those guys, that meant Anthony Davis had to move to the 5. And with moving to the 5, that's where he began to gain weight, because you have to be a bigger guy to play that position. And that's when the injuries, the little knick-knack injuries started to pile up. Because I was thinking, he never had these injuries in New Orleans. And he didn't really have an injury the first year with the Lakers. It was the years when we wanted him to be the 5. That's when the knick-knack injury started to pile up. And that's what it was from 2021 to 2022. No, that's what it was from 2020 to 2021 and 21 to 22. That's what it was. It was knick-knack injuries because AD was forced to play the 5. And it was something that just hit me. He had to gain much more weight to play that position. Now let's talk about his game. Because at this moment, he is still playing the 5. And the things you see about AD on the timeline, not on the timeline, just in the media in general, is he's never consistent. I know y'all seen that thing in the playoffs where he was one game, he was on, one game, he was off. That's the thing with AD. He was just never consistent. If you watch Anthony Davis in that New Orleans Pelicans career and in that 2020 year, you can see it's a completely different player. Back then, slimmer dude. The mid-range was cash every time. It was just, when he gets to the mid-range, once he gets to a spot, it's pretty much over. In the paint, he was dominant. He can shoot threes. He can shoot in general. But then when you put on weight, that stuff goes. And it's hard to get back. I want you guys to go back and watch Giannis. Rookie Giannis. Not even rookie Giannis, the first 3 years of Giannis. Before he got big, he can shoot. This motherfucker is huge now. He cannot shoot. That's basketball. That's how it happens. Once you get big, stuff like that goes. And if we are going to keep asking Anthony Davis to play out of position, he will never be the #1 for this team. We will consistently have to keep asking LeBron to save him. Anthony Davis at this point is not good enough to create his shot on a consistent basis. It's just not good enough at all because he can't shoot at all no more. He can't. He's getting better this year. He's actually been shooting good, pretty much better than he was the last 2 years. But he's still not a shooter like he was coming in to the Lakers. He's not a mid-range guy where you get to the mid-range, you just think the defense is gonna make. Even with him getting big, he still has trouble bagging people down. Him playing out of position took most of his offensive game away. Those big guard skills that he had even in New Orleans, he doesn't have them no more because he really can't move like he used to be. And then you got some people that might be like, okay, what about that time last year, that month last year, when he was dogging without LeBron and he looked like a top 5 guy in the league? Who was he playing with? Who was he playing with? Russell Westbrook. What do we know Russell Westbrook for? Force feeding the hell out of his bigs. AD at this moment in time is not good enough to create his own shot like that on a consistent basis. He needs to be force fed. And what was Russ doing? He was force feeding and they were dominating. And he was helping AD dominate. We'll never get credit for it because his name is Russell Westbrook. He don't deserve credit to the media, but he was helping. I'm not saying he was carrying AD or nothing, but AD looked the best he did in his career, well, in his Lakers career, because Russ was force feeding him. At this point in time, we cannot ask AD to be a number 1 option because that's just not him no more. And I think that's the stuff that people, and as NBA fans, we gotta accept people for who they are. Okay. The first year, okay, AD looked like a number 1 option. Now we ask him to play a whole new position, and we can't get that AD no more. It's been 2-3 years, and y'all still asking for that? Why? To me, I still think AD is the best player on the team because his defense is on another level. And I do think LeBron is declining in front of our faces. We just don't want to realize it because LeBron James. And he still averages the stats. But AD as the number 1 option, we just can't ask no more if we're going to ask him to be huge and be the center. That's just stuff we cannot ask no more. So when people are looking at AD, still comparing him to these other bigs like Giannis, like Jokic and like Embiid, to stop because we can't do that no more, bro. He's just not with those guys really, especially the way Embiid looks now. He's just not with those guys, and I want to push those propagandas too so bad because AD is my guy, but we have to face the facts because it's right there in front of us. He gets to the Lakers. He's playing a power forward, having his best year of all time. Goes to playoffs where he really solidified himself as a top 75 player of all time. He dominated. And then the next year we asked him to play the 5, he's getting hurt every fucking game. Then the next year after that, he's getting hurt every game. And then what is he going to do this year? We don't know. But we most likely know what's going to happen around like January. We know. We're not going to admit it. but we know AD. I love AD more than all y'all, bro. But as a fan of him, I had to stop being biased. I had to put my bias aside and look at him as an NBA player and be like, bro, he just don't have it no more. Don't get me wrong. Him not having it is still getting 24 in the NBA. But he's that talented. But if AD was that New Orleans AD right now, AD would be the best player in the world. He would be the best player in the world. What? That AD in the mid-range from 3 and as a scorer, Chin was out here dropping 50 and 60, bro. That AD, he would be the best player in the NBA because his defense will also be separated from everybody else because he was moving much more easily back in his prime. This AD is a very good player, but that back in the day, 2015 to 2019 AD, that AD is just, in this moment right here, best player in the NBA. But we're not going to get that, and I think people should stop expecting that because he's been showing us for the last few years, this is not him no more. He can't go there no more. He can't hit you a pull-up. He's too big. He's played out of position. It just took away most of his offensive game, man. It's the same thing with Giannis, and I feel like people don't realize that too because a lot of people didn't know Giannis and making his career, but the motherfucker could shoot the hell out of the ball. He wasn't a shooter, but like he can actually shoot the ball. But now, this motherfucker can barely hit rim sometimes. Same thing with AD. AD was a mid-range killer. It's no longer that. When he's getting most of his buckets, that nigga's getting force-fed. Or he's getting it off the rim because he's a supreme rebounder. We have to realize shit like that. But that's it. I don't want to keep telling me that. I want to do something new over here on the channel though. I got this idea from Peter Plug from Through the Wire, of course, and he has this thing called NBA Weekly. And I kind of want to do that over here. I don't want to have it the same name because that's like Jack in his old style. I don't want to do that. But it just feels easier to talk about everything that's happened in the NBA because I'm so down with it instead of just trying to find videos out of nowhere and just not getting no views. That's just hard. So I kind of want to do that. Let me know how y'all think about that down below. But like I said, man, AD just, he won't be that guy. And this has nothing to do with LeBron, really. I just had to say that in the beginning to get the niggas, the LeBron stands to watch the video. But yeah, it has nothing to do with LeBron. But AD's just not going to be that AD no more. If we're going to keep asking him to play 5, it's just not going to happen. We got to come to the realization and see that's just not going to happen. But other than that, man, I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.